What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Would You Watch It Again? The show where we review your favorite movies, anime, and TV shows, and at the end, we answer the question that really matters: would you watch it again? I'm your host, Roy, and today we're going to be reviewing Reincarnated as a Sword. Story-wise, this is way better than your typical isekai. First off, we have an inanimate object that is the reincarnated person this time. I don't know. It's a different take for sure, and I can't lie, I definitely fuck with it, especially when Fran gets introduced. Once Fran's involved, everything just goes from like solid to pretty damn good. The story gets better as we go on Fran's quest to become the first black cat to evolve. Learning about the skills, seeing the world building, the different characters interact with each other, and not to mention the dungeons and how they actually have to go about to solve the problems. There's actually traps in the dungeons. There's just so many layers to the story than you would expect. I mean, obviously you're going to expect some fantasy elements. It is an isekai, it is a fantasy world, but I gotta say I was honestly impressed. Was not expecting this from this title. In terms of characters, the main ones are definitely Seisho and Fran. Seisho is a talking sword and Fran's a cat girl. Their dynamic is one of the best parts of the show by far. The relationship is very interesting. At first you're thinking the sword guy might be a little pervy or whatever, but instead he's like this lovable dad figure to this cat girl, and the relationship is honestly just extremely wholesome. Like I felt like I was watching like a slice of life, like moe anime or some shit. Like the way that I felt about their relationship, they had me feeling like, like I need my own little cat girl or something. The supporting characters are also good as well. None of them are as important as Fran or Seisho, but everyone has a solid relationship with Fran and Seisho, and obviously like questioning how did this cat girl get this strong, or what's going on, what's her story. But in general, everybody in the first season was pretty nice and just really wanted to help them out. I think one of the biggest people that stood out would have to be Amanda for sure, or Mamanda, or Mamanda, whatever you want to call her. Like, she's a very interesting character, and once again, due to anime, you think she might be like on the pervy side, but then come to find out she actually is the protector of children, and she's really just this mom figure that's a little overbearing for Fran at first, but then becomes this like beacon of this lost lore out of nowhere. I was not expecting it, but yeah, in general the characters are great, but like I said before, Fran and Seisho are the biggest proponents of the story and push everything forward. Cinematography wise or animation wise, the show is pretty good. I won't give it say like a 10 out of 10 in terms of animation or sound design, character design, or any of those sorts, but it was a solid budget. Once again, this isn't the Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer situation. This is you could tell that the animation department definitely had some love for this, but it wasn't, once again, this isn't like a map of production or anything like that. But there's no real big complaints about the animation. The fight choreography was pretty cool because you actually got to see the actual fights go down. They weren't skipping around. They were literally breaking down, attack by attack, skill by skill, showing you how the fight developed. So for that, I won't give it like a 10 out of 10, but on the animation scale or anything like that, but it was solid. It was good enough. It's good enough to get through. I have no major complaints or anything. Final thoughts: I really appreciate this show for what it was. It was a different take on the isekai trope, and maybe even the father-daughter trope. I mean, I don't think I've ever watched an anime where father-daughter relationship was the main thing, but maybe I'll have to after this one, because like I said, it was very wholesome, but it still had some great action scenes, the skills. You still have your overpowered isekai main character syndrome, of course, but even in still, like, the power leveling in the show was great, because Fran and Seisho still never got too out of hand in comparison, and they still kept on showing you that, hey, they're strong, but you know, we can go, it goes way higher out here. And other than that, I mean, I'm excited for a season 2. And then yeah, would I watch this again? Hell yeah, I would watch this again. This is a great story. From what I'm hearing, the visual novel goes to like 1,000 chapters or something, so there's plenty of story to still adapt. I'll definitely go back and rewatch this, just like I rewatch, you know, other good isekai such as like ReZero or Reincarnated as a Slime. Yeah, I recommend this for anybody that's an isekai fan. If you're an anime fan and just in general like a new one, I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, jump right into this. You know, it could be a little bit weird. Some of these tropes are something you gotta get used to, but it's not a super far-fetched story or anything like that. It's just a really good isekai. That's pretty much it. It's just a very, very good isekai. And yeah, and that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure to like and subscribe. And make sure you give your thoughts down below on whether or not you would rewatch this, or how much you like the first season in general. And, you know, shout out to that season 2 announcement as well today. And that's all I got for y'all. Peace.